Spark 7 versus Camon 17. It's uncompromising affordability against uncompromising value. $65 separates the Spark 7 from the Camon 17, but is that $65 worth it for the Camon 17, or is it overpriced over the Spark 7? Let's start off with apples to apples, the specs. In terms of hardware, the Camon 17 is better all round. Both the processor and the GPU are more powerful, the camera system is more superior, it has more memory and storage, and a more fluid display thanks to the 90Hz refresh rate. A bit of a bloodbath for the Spark 7 here, but the more crucial question is, are all these features important enough for you to shell out $65 more over the Spark 7? The Spark 7 has a textured back with some tiny grooves, and this not only makes it very resistant to fingerprints, but it also improves the grip of the phone, making it much less slippery in the hand. The Camon 17 has an even smoother back with a satin-like texture. It also does a good job with the fingerprint situation, but not as good of a job on grip. And it's a tad bit bigger than the Spark 7 as well, so it will be a bit more difficult to handle. On this one, while I prefer the look and feel of the Camon 17, I also prefer the grip I get from the Spark 7. But none of this really matters because most of you will put a chunky case over the phone anyway. This is where the extra horsepower shines. In the Camon 17, starting with the display, it's a high refresh rate panel, so animations on it are a lot more fluid than on the Spark 7. It can actually get addictive just scrolling things. It's not all smoke and mirrors though. The same can be said with software. It is pleasantly more responsive on the Camon 17 than the Spark 7. And it's a combination of the faster processor and more RAM that makes everything run like a well-oiled machine. Now don't get me wrong, the Spark 7 is super close on performance to a point where you won't really notice the difference unless you are really looking for it. For day-to-day usage, the Camon 17 may be a bit more pleasant to use, but the Spark 7 is not far behind. It is a lot closer than the specs and price might suggest. It's a win for the Camon 17, but not by much. This is where the Camon 17 walks away from the Spark 7. And it's not surprising either, the Camon has a bit more focus on the camera. It outranks the Spark 7 on both the camera megapixels and the number of cameras. As a result, image quality is better on the Camon 17. It has a 48 megapixel camera in its main sensor, which bins to 12 megapixel images for 4 times the detail per pixel than the Spark 7. This tech also makes the Camon 17 perform better than the Spark 7 in low light. With the beefier processor, the Camon 17 is able to shoot videos in 2K versus 1080p that the Spark 7 manages. The camera department is where the cost difference of these two smartphones really shows itself. It's a flawless victory for the Camon 17, it's a camera phone. Some observations I made are that the Spark 7 uses the earpiece as a loudspeaker as well, so it does not sound that great. The Camon 17 also has a slightly worse battery life thanks to more powerful hardware. But to sum it all up, the Camon 17 wins with the biggest lead coming from its camera and the features that come with it. If a good camera is worth that $65 dent in your pocket, then don't even think about it. Get the Camon 17 and all the goodies that come with it. If camera is not your main priority in a phone, then the Spark 7 can do the daily tasks almost as well as the Camon 17, and that would make the Spark 7 the best value for your money. Thanks for watching, see you on the next one.